It's 6 o'clock and I'm calling this meeting to order. Good evening and welcome everyone. This meeting is being recorded and will be available on the city's YouTube channel. Just a reminder to the audience, whether you are presenting or just commenting on an agenda topic, please come to the podium and wait to be recognized by the mayor, stating your name. There is a 7-minute time limit. Special meeting agendas, and this is a special meeting, do not include citizens not on the agenda at the end of the meeting, but limited questions or comments relating to the specific agenda topic being discussed may be allowed. Above all, please show courtesy and respect at all times. Thank you. Next, we will move on to a roll call. Please start with Deb.
Deb Molly.
Dick Wozniak.
Mike here.
Cindy Anderson.
And I believe we have a council member on.
Marianne Wainwright.
Thank you, Marianne Wainwright, calling in by the phone. Thank you. Next, motion, consider the consent agenda. I do need to comment on a couple of things. Several items were added to the agenda packet at the last minute and without approval. If they are not topics on the agenda, they will not be discussed. So I wanted to make that clear. With that in mind, I need a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mary? Aye. Thank you. Should also, the minutes should also reflect that, our minute taker tonight is the administrator Priscilla, and we have Chase Harrison in the kitchen, Harvey Howell Technology. Thank you. All right. Item number 5, considering a resolution providing for a temporary interim city clerk position for continuity of operations. I want to explain to everyone, we have 2 items on the agenda. This item, number 5, is to approve a position called temporary interim city clerk. It does not associate with any specific name, does include the details of the position and what the requirements would be. Explains that that position would be in effect until June 30th, or if a replacement clerk was hired prior to that time, but embedded in that is a transition period, of course, to work with the person in this position. So the discussion on this topic is strictly about the position itself. The next topic is discussion and possible motion to hire specifically Cynthia Stimpson into this position. So 2 steps. First step, approve the position. Second step, potentially hire someone into it. So everybody clear on that? Okay. So council. One of the items that got added to your packet was an amended agenda. I have not, our resolution, excuse me. I was not aware that was being added. The original resolution is out there. What is your discussion?
Can you state that again? You said, revised.
Cynthia reviewed the resolution that you wrote up and is requesting some changes. I had changes as well, but the most important person involved should be the person that we're potentially hiring. So she came up with her revised resolution, cleaned up some of the language, removed section C. I think everybody here has a copy in front of them.
I can go through the suggested changes if you want. The most common one is correcting the title, city clerk treasurer. And correcting the name of our code of ordinances. But there are some other minor changes if you want me to review.
Yeah, would you?
Sure.
Just for the
Paragraph 3, was completely added. It refers to the city clerk also serves as treasurer according to chapter 19 of our code of ordinances. Do you want me to point out every time I've changed the title or,
No, that's
Okay.
fine, but
okay,
back up for a minute, what section got added?
paragraph 3, the third whereas.
Paragraph 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so,
Yeah,
Yeah.
chapter 19.
and council be aware, these changes would not have been reviewed by the attorney, where, I should back up just a minute, background on the original resolution was, it was proposed as an ordinance and, developed by, Councilmember Wozniak. It was then sent to the city attorney for review. Recommended it came back as a resolution instead of an ordinance with some wording changes. A little bit of back and forth. So the original has been reviewed by the attorney and approved. Any changes have not been that by the attorney. Excuse me, Cynthia, but I wanted to clear that up.
Yeah, I don't think there's any, substantive changes that would require the attorney, but that's up to you.
Okay.
So,
So the biggest thing is you added treasurer to the title.
Right, that is the correct title.
Okay,
Paragraph B. That last sentence, this transaction period shall not extend beyond June 30th, 2026. The first one said, and no holdover of any person shall occur. It clearly states it'll end June 30th, 2026. There's no ambiguity there that you need to state it, it'll end again, in my opinion, but.
so you're just saying just strike the holdover phrase,
Right, because I mean, it says the same thing right before it.
just a little language cleanup, okay?
Yeah. This is the kind of things that the city clerk edits and reviews.
Okay.
Let's see, there's something. Oh, I just wanted to, comment on A. I believe I left it except for the, oh, I said the start date, not the appointment. 30-day calendar days following, it said appointment and official start date. I just made it as the official start date. Because it doesn't really matter when the appointment is, it matters when the person's in the office, getting trained. And I would just caution you on C, I don't believe I changed anything except titles. But, depending on the person you hire, hang on. Oh, back to 1A. 30 calendar days may or may not be enough, but, I'm fine with that if you want to go with that. And then, if I'm hired as that position and you get somebody, you know, and the June 30th isn't here, but 30 days, I'll be done and they'll be on their own, whether ready or not.
Sorry, Cynthia, where are we at on that?
That's A, and I didn't change that, I don't believe.
What she's suggesting is possibly removing the 30 calendar days following the official start date of the city clerk treasurer. To the point being that that person might not be ready after 30 days.
I mean, you might find somebody experienced, you might not, you might find no one. But if you find somebody that's not, I don't know whether 30 days will be enough, you know, they should be the judge of that probably.
And I should suggest to the council that any resolution that may or may not be adopted could potentially be revised. If we were in that situation that we felt a longer period was needed.
Mhm.
This is not something that can ever be amended.
Section 3 previously read, whether serving as an employee or independent contractor shall receive pay benefits consistent with. That's not how an independent contractor works. The independent contractor sets whatever rates they want. And then if the business decides to hire them, that's the business decision. You're not gonna write in what somebody's independent contractor rate would be. So I just made it read, during the term of this position, the interim city clerk treasurer shall be a full-time employee of the city of Fairfax and shall receive pay benefits and other applicable entitlements consistent as of January 8th, 2026.
Yeah, we reviewed it before it's flushed in the toilet.
And then section 4, I think I just made into 3 paragraphs rather than all ran together.
So, council is your discussion and highlighting the changes. It seems like changing the title list to maybe one, a little bit of language cleanup.
In my opinion. What she says is fine, but an attorney, she thinks she's better than an attorney. I go with what the attorney has. He knows the laws. I think what's there is fine.
Deb, I never said I thought I was better than an attorney. I said I am not willing to have you try to dictate what my independent contractor rate will be.
We didn't put that in here.
It sure did.
Changing everything that he already approved. I'm just saying, I agree with this one that the attorney reviewed and said, this is good.
So the attorney used incorrect terminology, but you're still agreeing with the attorney.
He's a lawyer for a reason. He knows the
Wow,
law.
that's
He's-
arguing from a position of authority is a very foolish argument to make.
Oh. I don't think so. Counsel.
My position is city clerk treasurer. And it's according to that, to our own code, and I made the code reference.
So council, any further discussion on how, if and how you would like to proceed?
I am comfortable with the changes.
Have you talked to Tina about section C? Because you can't force someone to do a job that she was not hired to do.
Section C is a big if. You can't hire somebody if you even have a deputy clerk still on staff. You'll have to deal with that fallout when it happens, if it happens.
The point I'm making is if someone's hired as a deputy clerk and we don't find a replacement before June 30th, you can't turn to her and say, well, now you have to be the clerk. That's not how it works.
You'll be in the same exact position you are right now.
And again, this could be amended if we felt like it needed to.
We can also change it now and amend it later if we need to as well. And Tina's here, you can ask her. She does not have the training nor is she required to perform the duties of the
Just ask,
clerk
does
slash
she
treasurer.
get paid as a deputy clerk?
Because her job is to perform the duties of a deputy clerk, not a deputy clerk and a city clerk treasurer.
She hasn't really done the deputy clerk job either, has she?
How do you know?
She hasn't been there a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry that she's been out sick, that now you get to
Okay,
slander
counsel.
her about her
Counsel.
performing of abilities.
Council, all right,
Yes.
let's go back to the resolution. We're not talking about personnel situations here. We're talking about the resolution and a potential agreement. Wow. So, no discussion of personnel matters, please. Council,
I agree that the city clerk treasurer, that is the duty, I appreciate it. Adding that part to their.
Here.
Hey, can you please mute your phone if you're on the phone?
I don't think any of the changes I made change the substantive effect of the resolution. That was not my intent. I was just trying to get it more correct.
so,
I had
Counsel.
wondered that piece
Right.
a while ago, if you had been given the access to that, to look at it to see.
I didn't see it till today.
But, I agree with that. It is the city clerk treasurer position. That's what our ordinance says. That's what it's always been, as far as I can tell. I don't see any substantive.
Just say major change.
Major change. I have it pulled. I'm not, it's tough, but, yeah, I don't see any major changes. I appreciate that.
so, is that a motion, Cindy?
I just was commenting on.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution as revised by Cynthia. I guess the ones.
We can amend it to reflect as motion as revised per her notes.
The version in front of us.
Mike, Dan made a motion. Did he make a motion to approve as is, or was the changes? It's really hard to hear you guys.
Can you hear me, Mary Ann?
Yes, I can hear you. You must be closer to the owl.
Yeah, sorry, I'm right on top of it here. So yes, Dan has made a motion to approve the revised resolution.
So I need a second,
Second,
the resolution, so I need a roll call. Cindy,
I.
Aye.
I,
Mary Ann,
I,
okay. So the revised resolution has been approved. We will then move forward with item number 6, discussion and possible motion to hire Cynthia Simpson in this. We're gonna have to change that wording slightly, temporary interim city clerk / treasurer. And we'll do that. Any discussion, council, before I allow public comment?
if you see the last page that was added, the motion regarding for benefits, it's more so.
I just gave that to you, Mike.
Oh,
Mike.
whoops, never mind. All right,
Yes, there are still some details that would need to be made.
all right, let's go ahead and let them comment, and then I'll kind of.
Okay. Please state who you are.
Joe Kell, 655 Affirm Lane, Fairfax. I'm also the Parks and Rec Director for the city of Fairfax. I'd like to just recap the series of events that have led us to this position and reframing the discussion in a different light. On January 8th, this city council chose to not
Excuse
reappoint.
me, we're addressing the agenda topic at hand, which is. So
I-
hire Cynthia.
I promise this is on topic. If you will let me, if you'll let
The
me
mayor
get.
did that.
Every time, every time, let him talk,
Joe,
let Joe talk.
I promise this is on topic if you let me get through it.
Okay.
Okay, but I would appreciate not being interrupted. On January 8th, the city council chose to not reappoint our city clerk. That was 27 days ago. Since that meeting, we have had the former city clerk hired as a mentor, which the council and mayor agreed to. This will be the third city council meeting since then and has been a topic for everyone. These are the facts. The current situation is like asking a server in a restaurant to take over the chef's job and their job. They take the orders, they cook the orders, they serve the orders, and we can't forget about the drinks, serving the drinks. The chef and the server work at the same place, so I'm sure they are cross-trained. But how many servers know they need to cook the chicken to a particular temperature, internal temperature? I make this point to show while yes, the city clerks are cross-trained, they don't know all details of the job or how to do every detail correctly while still doing their current job. Moving on to the offer in front of you. The former city clerk is willing to come back. She has stated that she will help train the next city clerk. Let's look ahead to what that might detail. The city's accounting software is G-Works. This software is how the city functions between accounting, bill processing, budget tracking, and a load of finer details. The new city clerk will have to learn this system. However, G-Works is moving to a cloud-based system that does not work properly, according to other cities. Other cities that have moved to the software. Therefore, Fairfax has chosen to switch software to Edmunds. This would mean the next city clerk will have to learn 2 separate accounting softwares in the next 12 months. I'm sure there will be a learning curve for all staff on this switch, but none more important than that of the city clerk. When looking forward, this is just one of the many things that the former clerk can help the new city clerk learn. While I don't speak for the former clerk, this might band-aid the relationship enough that after city appoints a new city clerk, she would be willing to be a resource to assist them moving forward. At the end of the day, the solution being discussed tonight is reappointing the former city clerk to help with the transition process of hiring a new clerk. A process that has not started yet. This is why I urge the council to start the hiring process as soon as possible. And the sooner you hire a new clerk, the more time they have to train and learn from the former city clerk, if you choose that route. I urge council to look in the rearview mirror, but not to stare. The road is in front of you. Your decisions have led us here. What exit are we going to take? Thank you.
Tina Rosecrans, 231 Park Street. This comes from me as a concerned employee and concerned resident. January 8th was one of the worst days of my career at Fairfax City Hall. My coworker and friend was fired. Sorry, it was not the city clerk position.
Please mute your phone.
Next week, see what they can do with history. I'm crazy or
Please mute your phone.
Turn it down, Chris, a little bit, okay. We'll turn back up with Marion.
Yeah, we'll start over.
Sorry, Tina.
All right. This comes from me as a concerned employee and concerned resident. January 8th was one of the worst days of my career at Fairfax City Hall. My coworker and friend was fired, was not reappointed to the city clerk position that she has done for 17 years here at City Fairfax. Cynthia is the best city clerk around. Just get on ClerkNet and ask. When the clerk asked a question, she was always there with the answers. People always go to Cynthia. Not only that, but the Iowa League of Cities asked her to teach budget for them. Since the 8th, my stress level has risen to unbelievable heights. In the 5 years that I have been working here, I have hardly had any sick days. Since the 8th, I've had probably at least 5, if not more. I have so much anxiety and hate coming to work in this toxic work environment every day. I do it for the residents and my coworkers. Unfortunately, that does not include most of the council and the mayor. You are what has caused this. I do not know how to make you understand that I cannot do the city clerk job. I only know how to enter payroll hours, do the payables. Everything else is beyond my knowledge. It seems to me that the mayor and few council members do not have their priorities in order. We have been getting calls from the auditor's office, the insurance company, and others that have open records requests. These have been put aside because the mayor wanted the February newsletter out. I do not have time for that. I don't know how to start it and can hardly even finish my own job with double the amount of emails coming my way asking for things I don't know how to do. They are city clerk items. It's time to fix this and make the right decisions, not only the employees and the residents, but for Fairfax as a whole. Hiring Cynthia back so she can train someone properly to be a city clerk, or hopefully get a city clerk to apply and then transition them into a city hall. Put your personal vendetta aside and do the right thing. No matter how many times you tell yourself that City Hall is business as usual, it is not. and won't be unless you do the right thing by hiring Cynthia Rattler.
Catherine Pasha, 210 Vanderbilt Street. Mayors of, members of the council, mayor, and people here watching. Let's stop pretending that this situation is comfortable. It isn't. Cynthia was not removed because she failed the city. She was removed because she became inconvenient to some of you. His professionalism and independence doesn't always sit well with personal vendettas. And when that happened, this council allowed politics to override responsibility. Since her dismissal, city operations have suffered. Deadlines were missed. Knowledge and experience walked out that door. Confidence in city leadership took another hit. That's not speculation. That is the reality that this public has watched unfold. I mean, look, you have the news here. If stuff was not, bad happening, we wouldn't have this news here. Rehiring Cynthia as temporary city clerk is not a favor to her. It is damage control for Fairfax. It is an acknowledgement that the decision that three of you made to remove an experienced, capable clerk without a viable transition plan is reckless. In the military, as Mike knows, you have a backup plan to the backup plan. You guys had nothing. Council talks about transparency. Transparency means admitting when you are wrong. Accountability means fixing it. And leadership means putting the city's needs above personal grudges and bruised egos. Temporary reinstatement restores stability immediately. It protects city records, ensures compliance, and signals to employees and residents alike that this council will not sacrifice confidence on the altar of politics and vendettas. Refusing to bring her back even temporarily sends a loud and ugly message that this council would rather protect egos than protect the city. That pride matters more than proper administration. That retaliation is acceptable as long as you have enough votes. This is the moment to correct course, to show courage instead of stubbornness, to do what should have been done all along. A good fire captain that I've done a lot of training with told me leadership is not demonstrated by doubling down on a bad decision. Leadership is demonstrated by correcting it publicly and without excuses. Rehire Cynthia as temporary city clerk, do it now, do it publicly, and do it for the city. Anything less will stand as a permanent mark on this body's credibility and will be remembered long after current officials are gone. The record will reflect what you do next. And us as the public, we're watching.
Tom Murray, 115 Highland Avenue. On January 8th, three council members, Cindy, Dan, and Deb, chose to fire our city clerk, Cynthia Stimson, with over 30+ years of experience and a respected clerk throughout the state of Iowa. Joanne's comment at that meeting immediately after their vote saying, "Council, I have no idea where this is coming from," is a claim of ignorance and is laughable at best. That did not work. You three council members had no discussions or reasons why before your vote was cast, and it was obvious to me that this was a pre-planned event by all four of you. This was the first meeting of the year with the newly formed city council. January 13th, at the regular city council meeting, you had on your agenda to reconsider hiring Cynthia, which Cindy, Dan, and Deb made no motion, thus declining Cynthia's rehire. The January 20th special council meeting for the third try, you four again had the opportunity to bring back Cynthia to resume her regular duties as city clerk. You chose instead to put her in a mentor position, a limited role, to assist our deputy clerk. All this while the state auditor was trying to complete the city audit, continue a state required budgetary forms and notices, City of Fairfax insurance agent requesting information, and the City of Fairfax newsletter all continue to follow. Of all this, Joanne, you were the most concerned about the newsletter not getting out to residents and looking for someone to produce the newsletter. I asked you, at what additional cost would that be to Fairfax for an outside source to produce our newsletter. How much will the city how much will the city insurance rates go up? Because insurance companies see Fairfax in peril. EMC, a large insurance carrier that insures the cities, will not even give us a quote. It's in my opinion that this is only the beginning of the additional costs and penalties that will be incurred by Fairfax and its residents because of your efforts or lack thereof. It was at that meeting on January 20th where Cynthia gave the deadline of January 31st to determine if she was able to come back and resume her role as clerk and stop the bleeding caused by her firing on the 8th. You four had 11 days to get a special meeting set up and again failed miserably. Excuses were heard and Cindy had a prior engagement. Dan was working on his own interim city clerk resolution. Deb was out on vacation. Joanne, you also had prior engagement, so at the last minute, the Thursday special meeting was canceled. You four clearly didn't want this to happen by the 31st, and it was not a priority for any of you. Or maybe this is a part of your plan, but time will tell. You can try to spin it however you want, but this is on you four. I remind you that you have a responsibility not only to Fairfax residents, but to the city of Fairfax, its employees, and its day-to-day operations. You four have also failed at that miserably, all within 5 weeks. Through all this, you four will attempt to create your own narrative and make excuses for the state of affairs Fairfax is in today, blame everyone else, and also try to pin this on Cynthia as well as other staff. We're smarter than that. Your narrative will not work. Fairfax is in peril and not taking any responsibility for the state of Fairfax is currently, and it is appalling to me. Joanne, your statement on Channel 9 News, it's business as usual, couldn't be farther from the truth. Again, trying to control the narrative. So I ask this question to you. If you were in Cynthia Stimson's shoes and having gone through all that she has had to endure in the last 5 weeks, would you be here today to consider fighting for Fairfax and digging Fairfax out of this mess? That's a question for all four of you. Cindy?
While you were asking the question, I thought you were making a statement.
No. So I asked this question to you, is how that paragraph started. You don't have to answer it if you don't want.
Read it again.
So I asked this question to you. If you were in Cynthia Stimson's shoes and having gone through all that she has had to endure, would you be here today to even consider fighting for Fairfax and digging us out of this mess?
I had that experience, probably, sure. Why wouldn't I?
Dan?
She's here. I can
No.
actually,
If you were in her shoes, you are her in her shoes as she sits right here. Would you keep fighting 3, 4 times?
depending on the situation, sure.
Sure. Okay. Deb?
I guess.
I guess. Joanne, if you were in her shoes, would you keep trying 4 separate times to come back to help Fairfax? Definitely. I have yet to see any remorse for any of your 4 actions. And this is only one topic, and I'm certain there are more topics to come, and it's my hope that residents will be informed and ready for their opinions as each issue comes up. Cynthia, you're a better person than I am, and I commend you for your efforts. Thank you for all you have done.
Council, are you ready for a vote?
For number 5, right?
No, we're on number 6.
Gary.
Discuss an possible motion to hire Cynthia Stimson is gonna be
Got
amended,
it.
temporary interim city clerk / treasurer.
I'm gonna make a motion for Cynthia to return as the interim city clerk. I'm not done reading, be quiet.
All right, so this
Say it again, Mike, so I get it down.
second,
I'm gonna make a motion for her to include IPERS, her full insurance benefits, her sick hours, her vacation, her comp hours, all benefits that normally would have been accrued from her original hire date, and all other full-time employee benefits that she would be entitled to, and her previous pay, which is a benefit to the city and not to her, I should add.
so that's in addition to,
I'll second that motion.
question,
That's
is that in
technically
addition
referenced in
to
section.
her mentoring payment that's been made, will be made, because it hasn't been made yet.
Whatever she has done for mentoring, she needs to be paid at her independent contractor rate. This is effective February 9th, which will be next Monday.
Your motion is effective February 9th?
Yes,
So her start date would be February 9th, that's what we're saying.
No.
no. You want,
February 9th, yeah, Monday,
yes,
yeah, sorry.
yeah, February 9th would be her start date. Who's on board?
Have you got that? Gonna take them. Chris,
Excuse me?
do you have this motion?
I'll give it a copy.
Okay. We have a motion. And we have a second, I believe, so I just need an all in favor on this.
Aye.
Any nays?
Aye.
Okay. Motion has carried.
Can I just make one quick statement?
Sure.
Okay. I want to thank staff and residents for their support during this difficult time. Thank you also to Mike and Mary Ann. I hope we're able to repair the damage done to the reputation of the city of Fairfax and to the staff's morale and view about their employment. I will work hard to catch things up in City Hall, and I will be prioritizing the work by business operations necessity. See you Monday.
Okay. Just have a couple quick things on the agenda. And, no discussion on any of these topics if they're not on the agenda. There is comment, hopefully your next regular meeting is next Tuesday, February 10th. Be sure if you haven't already done so, get your agenda topics and corresponding documents. Chris?
I have some comments, city administrator comments. On January 8th, this council and the mayor made decisions that will affect Fairfax long into the future. They made their decision prior to the first meeting as new council and must have pre-planned the decision, which would have broken state of Iowa open meeting laws. The decision to not reappoint Cynthia, a 17-year veteran as city clerk with an impeccable job performance and record. This decision by you, council, has left everyone baffled. This decision has left the city as a whole in a very vulnerable position. No clerk means no business as usual. Since January 8th, the mayor has continually blocked every attempt to reverse the council's actions. The mayor has asked that the city attorney and herself censor any documents that have been requested by open public records requests by citizens, medias, and others. Public records requests are part of the city clerk's responsibility, and so far they remain unfulfilled, as far as I know. This council has attempted to push employees to quit if they are not happy. This council has repeatedly pushed employees to perform duties that are not part of their current job, and they are not trained to do. This council has incurred serious legal debt for the city that will be paid for with taxpayer dollars. All of this leadership has happened in one short month. I want to give you a rental property update. There have been significant changes occurring at the Railroad Street Apartments under new
Chris,
ownership.
we can't talk about topics that are not on the agenda.
This is my comments, Joanne. It's not part of the agenda.
Nobody can respond. You can't-
Eric has been working hard with the new owner and the results are already evident. I would like to thank the new owner for investing in Fairfax and Eric for his work on this. Cooperation between the city and landlords is key to long-term success of our rental program. There are currently 4 residential properties that are rentals are owned by Q Farm Trust, which are not on the city of Fairfax rental program. These addresses are 522 Williamsboro Boulevard, 211 Railroad Street, 210 Main Street, and 116 Main Street. as well as commercial property at 506 Main Street. These properties are under the control of Councilperson Anderson and Mayor Beer. I will remind everyone that over 4,000 data center employees park their vehicles in Fairfax and report to work in Cedar Rapids. Fairfax has 2,828 residents as of the 2020 census. The Fairfax Fire Department are the first responders to the Fairfax Data Center campus. The city of Fairfax has a water main extended to this data center campus, which still has not been turned on. Trucks and semis come through town nonstop, many of them delivering Fairfax water to the data center in Cedar Rapids. Do not kid yourself, anyone. Fairfax has heavy industrial activities everywhere around this town. I wish I had better facts to report, but I feel again, this is my duty to let council know what is really happening in Fairfax. Thank you.
First comment, we have no currently, so we'll move on to motion to adjourn, please.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Who motion to adjourn you?
Yes.
Number second. Yeah. No, that's not on the agenda. No, that was on the agenda. That was just for informational. That was not on the, for informational. All right?